Hello, I'm Luca De Giglio, and this is the Web3 in Travel podcast, where you can learn about crypto, blockchain, and how the new internet will change travel.
Is travel the next thing in crypto? We've been for quite a while trying to kind of sell the crypto concept to the travel industry at large. And the travel industry at large is in general not receptive. It's been a long time and it's been pretty hard, mostly because there's no knowledge about what crypto is in the travel industry. And we never really tried to sell the travel idea to the crypto space. Why so? Well, I have to be honest, I don't know why. The last time I, in a way, tried to sell this idea to the crypto industry was in Istanbul at a conference last year. And I went around all the booths of mostly layer 1s and layer 2s, so many blockchains, which was like the big thing still in the space. And I was going there and saying, look, I'm working in travel, Web3 in travel, etc. And I was getting blank stares. Now, it's really challenging to get blank stares from the travel industry and then get blank stares from the crypto industry too. To be fair, most of those people, I realized later, were kind of new to the space. So there's a lot of new blood coming into crypto all the time. It's a very young industry, and this is good. But there's also, as a result, many people who've been in crypto for 2 years, basically, or 3 years. And it has to be said, things have changed since, 2009 or when I got in 2013. The people getting in today are not the same kind of people who got in earlier. The very early adopters are kind of different people, more open-minded in general. So the way I explained this to myself, like this kind of rejection to myself, was, all right, these people are more in the category of people following existing pattern, and they got in crypto and crypto became kind of mainstream, at least in this demographic. So I cannot expect from them to, simply because they tell them, Web3 and travel, and they go like, yeah, of course, this is the next big thing, right? Still, we kept grinding. I mean, finally, that there's more and more people working on this, thinking on this. I don't feel lonely anymore. Well, I never really felt lonely, but like it feels that I am part of a bigger cohort of people pushing the narrative and working on it. And yeah, still, we haven't really changed the travel industry, and we haven't really made strides in the crypto industry neither, right? So, but things are changing. Again, because there's new people all the time, and the quality in general of these people is really high. I'm expecting that we're gonna break in either through the travel industry or in the crypto industry sooner or later. And I got recently very excited about a new prospect. And the prospect is that in less than 2 weeks, probably much less by the time you listen to this podcast, the Web3 travel industry is going to present officially in front of the crypto industry in Zug, Switzerland, in the Crypto Valley at the CV Summit. Let me tell you what I mean by that. So, you know that we launched Tectris, which is this future fund in Web3 and travel. At the moment, is an accelerator. And we will have the finals of Tectris during this conference in Zug on the 2nd of October 2024. The semifinals were in Umbria at the Web3 and Travel conference. So we will have our room where we do the finals. There are 4 startups. We will talk about this later, or probably in a different episode. And after that, in the late afternoon, right before the Ethereum, I think, foundation basically celebrates 10 years of Ethereum. Right before that, we will be on stage for 10 minutes to present the winner of the competition, of the Tectris competition. And we will have the chance to speak to about 1,000 crypto people about travel and Web3. And I can't help thinking about this as the moment in which finally crypto gets to listen to what Web3 and travel says. Of course, travel in crypto has been around forever. Projects like Travala and others are very old. I mean, they've been since like 2017. So it's not new. And I suppose everybody in crypto knows about them. I know many people who use them. But a lot has happened since then. Travala and others didn't really change the business model, so they keep going. They're going well. But a lot has changed since then. And I don't think that the crypto space in general knows about this. My exposure to the crypto space is through conferences and crypto Twitter, etc. There's not really much talk about travel, if anything. Yeah, sometimes some projects pop up, etc. But the very big ones do not really get to the main stage in the online discourse. And we will go on a main stage. So I would say the minimum goal is to plant 1,000 seeds in 1,000 minds in the crypto space. Like, make them start thinking, oh, all right, true, travel. We can build stuff on top of travel. We can build stuff on top of crypto for the travel industry. Just to start, let them start thinking. I am a big believer in not convincing people in one go through, magnificent speeches and playing on their emotions, but in planting seeds, because those seeds usually grow in the right places, in the right minds, right? And you just let them grow. If they have to grow, they will grow. But you need to plant them, right? So having the chance to be in front of 1,000 people and telling them, guys, start thinking about travel in the crypto industry, right? Maybe 100, maybe 500 will listen, 100 will actually understand, maybe 10 will keep thinking about it for a while, maybe 3 will keep thinking for a long time, maybe 1 is going to be the next big project, which actually brings the next 10, 100 million or whatever people in crypto. Now, what is so exciting for me? Well, let's do a little bit of history. Through the lens or through the angle of what can you do with crypto? Because this has been a big question, and it's still a big question we didn't really answer. When you try to onboard new people in crypto and they ask you, what can I do with it? The answer is often like weird. It's not like, yeah, okay, you can book a flight or do something like, I don't know. It's always like, central banks, if you talk about Bitcoin, or, lending through central, okay, where I'm going, right? It's always very complicated. And there is nothing really easy to explain. But let me do the whole history of what you can do with crypto. Bitcoin comes up, and what can you do with crypto, which is only Bitcoin at the time? Well, you can mine. How massive is mine? How many people even understand the concept of mining? You turn on your computer and you get out like non-valuable tokens and whatever, right? This is really nerdy stuff. And let's analyze this from the nerdiness of what you can do, all right? So then Bitcoin keeps, growing, and you can send it to someone. All right, so let me send this weird magic internet money to somebody else, and somebody else gets it. Wow, it's fantastic. I can send tokens. Again, if you're nerdy, this is incredible. You were able to send something valuable. At the time, not even valuable, but something which could have value without intermediaries. But when you even say the word intermediaries, you lose 99% of people, right? So nerds excited, normies not excited. That's kind of the reading of this. And then somebody says, well, to make Bitcoin worth something, we should really have a circular economy. We should use it to buy stuff. And somebody comes out and says, okay, I'm gonna give 10,000 Bitcoin to whoever sends me 2 pizzas. And somebody sends 2 pizzas and we have the first transaction, right? Again, how useful is this in real life? Well, 0. How great is it for nerds? Fantastic. How interesting is it for normies? Oh, come on. I'm watching a series on TV. Don't bother me, right? And then, other coins come up. What can you do? Well, you can speculate, right? Bitcoin, you can also speculate. And the price goes up. It's fun. It's great. But again, it's for a few people. Then Ethereum goes up, right? And Ethereum brings a whole new set of things you can do. But at the beginning, all you can do with Ethereum is to send Bitcoin to some guys who are going to launch Ethereum. And manually, let's remember that, they will manually send you back some ETH. I think it was 1 Bitcoin for 1,000. 1 Bitcoin for 1,000 ETH at the time. That's the ICO. So here's another thing you can do. You can swap tokens. But this is manual. Okay, it doesn't matter. But you can swap tokens. Or you can join an ICO. And then Ethereum becomes successful. And we have, I'm really, doing a very fast history here. 2016-17, you can start actually doing ICOs. What is an ICO? I send you some ETH and you send me your token, hoping that this token makes, big gains more than ETH, faster than ETH. So we have the ICO craze. Again, how many people out of the general population can be interested in something like that? More than before, because everybody wants to get rich quickly. But still, you need some kind of technical knowledge, so maybe in the 1%. All right? And then the ICO craze stops, the market crashes, and we enter into a brutal winter, a couple of years of crypto winter, 2018 and 19, in which you wonder if crypto is going to die. You really wonder if crypto is going to die because there's nothing you can do. If you haven't been there at the time, the worst part of everything was like not the potential, because the potential was infinite. Like you can think about many things you can do, but the fact that you couldn't really do anything, even to swap tokens, like to speculate on those tokens, which was again the only thing you could do. You had to go through centralized exchanges like Binance, right? So out of crypto. So we have this new crypto thing which allows us to buy and sell tokens using a centralized exchange. That's great. And we came out from the ICO craze in which everything was going to be done on the blockchain and you would, do everything with a token, etc., etc. And the reality after those months of craziness is that you cannot do basically anything with your crypto tokens. They just stand there. What they do for you, they're losing value, and they go down 90%, and then they go down 90% again, and then they go down 90% again. That's how brutal it was. If at least we could do something, right? And I remember at the time we participated in a conference. We did our own track called Blockchain and Travel, and again, it was all about the potential, but we had these workshops in which people would open their first wallet and get some tokens from us. And then they would say, what can we do now? Well, not really much, right? And I remember it was during that conference that we went to a sushi restaurant with one guy, Clément Lessange from Kleros, one of the OG projects about dispute resolution in crypto in a decentralized manner. And he tells us about Uniswap. Now, you probably know what Uniswap is, right? It's an app where you can swap tokens one for another in a decentralized manner. Basically, you are swapping tokens thanks to the internet, but there are no people involved. And even if everybody at Uniswap stops working, the protocol keeps going because it's on the blockchain, etc. So it's immutable. And that's exactly the promise of crypto. And it tells us, look, if you want to exchange some ETH for, I don't know, something else, you can do it there. And we learn doing that, and we do it, and it's fantastic. because finally you can actually do something else with crypto. Another thing we do at the time is we launch, so we had our TRIPS token for a couple of years already, but we couldn't get on an exchange. So what we do, through a Uniswap pool, we allow people basically to swap TRIPS tokens. For the first time, we have an exchange. So, okay, it starts feeling that you can do things. And this is the spring of the DeFi summer. What is the DeFi summer? Well, the DeFi summer is when a lot of things become actually possible and people start do financial things with crypto in a decentralized manner. My first exposure to DeFi summer, or to DeFi in general, was in a co-working with other 4 people. So basically one guy speaks about DeFi and there's 4 of us listening, or 3 of us listening, I don't remember. I understand about nothing because I don't do finance. I never had stocks. All I had was a bank account, and every time in my life I had some money, I simply spent it in traveling. So I don't know finance. And these guys are saying, okay, you know finance, now you can do it decentralized. And I go like blank, right? But I'm so desperate, and as me, many people are so desperate to do something with this bloody crypto, that when people start saying, you can swap tokens like Uniswap, fantastic. I start swapping tokens like there's no tomorrow. And then somebody says you can do lending, and I don't know what lending is. You can lend your money to people and earn money. Well, okay, let's do it. And then you can borrow, and okay, let's do it. And then you can, whatever, what DeFi does, right? Several things like this. Another thing is like you can stake your tokens and they give another token in exchange for that. And I do all these things, and I kind of learn finance through that. I start understanding this basic concept of finance. And we have DeFi summer, everybody goes crazy, the tokens go very high in price. As usual in crypto, right? People get very excited because finally you can do something else. It's all about doing. Crypto is all about unlocking new capabilities, and often it's things you can do already, but you do them in a centralized manner, and this has some disadvantages. It's that simple. So we do DeFi like crazy, and then of course, what happens every time we get too excited in crypto? Everything crashes, and boom, DeFi dies. And I remember this very peculiar moment when DeFi is dead and people start saying, okay, what's the next thing? And people go like, okay, the next thing, and I don't remember all the candidates for next thing, but you have many on crypto Twitter. Everybody's saying the next thing is this, the next thing is that. And I distinctly remember somebody saying, tweeting, the next thing are NFTs. And I look at it and I dismiss it as, I knew what NFTs were. They were not new. We had the CryptoKitties in 2017. But, it was just one of the many candidates, and I kind of dismiss it until slowly NFTs actually become the next thing. And so what can you do with NFTs? More than what you could do before. Well, now you can have collectibles and you can do art. And this brings in people who were not interested in mining Bitcoin, in sending Bitcoin, in speculating on Bitcoin, in doing DeFi stuff. It enlarges the market, the TAM, the total addressable market in a way, right? More kind of people can be interested in NFTs than just DeFi and Bitcoin. And these are mostly the artists. NFTs are much more than just art, but it excites a new kind of people, the artists. And artists come in crypto, attracted by this new thing you can do. And they do NFTs and they do art, etc. And everybody gets too excited again, and we get these crazy prices, and then everything crashes again, and NFTs die. Crypto is like a killing machine which kills everything it touches in a way. And it's not true, it's not what I'm thinking, but it can be perceived this way, right? So because DeFi is still there, NFTs are still there, they're going to come back in a better way, etc. But anyway, NFTs die, and we kind of burned through another use case which crypto was able to present, right? NFTs die, we go in another kind of bear market. This time the bear market ends because finance finally embraces Bitcoin mostly. The ETF comes out and we come out of the bear market. We do a little new all-time high, just a bit over the previous one. I think previous was 69, this time maybe 72 or something $1,000. And then it kind of ends there. It goes in a kind of plateau, right? Because that's not really a use case. It's a use case for people who want to get exposure to the price of Bitcoin without touching Bitcoin itself. Not really cypherpunk, right? Not really pure crypto thing. It's more a co-opting approach. Like, okay, Bitcoin has some properties which are valuable. We from the finance world will kind of bring Bitcoin in it. It's not Bitcoin bringing the finance war in, right? And again, it's just for a few people. How many people want to buy NFTs? Want to buy ETFs? Again, I was one of the persons who never had ETFs. I have friends who have ETFs. I think most of my friends do not have ETFs. At least knowingly, when you go to banks, you sign things and you get into many things without knowing. But anyway, so now, September 2024, and we are still looking for the next big thing, or in a more appropriate manner, I would say, for the next use case, for the next thing we can do with crypto, which we couldn't do before. There are many candidates. Actually, only one comes to my mind at the moment, which is RWA, which are real world assets. Like, okay, crypto tokens, which represent not just magic internet money, but they represent real stuff. So tokenizing real estate, for instance, right? And that's not yet a narrative which has been consolidated. This is still in the phase in which some people are saying that's the next thing, but nobody really knows what the next thing is. The market somehow doesn't get the one which makes more sense. It just gets the one which, attracts the most, the best narrative maybe. All right. Anyway, my case is maybe the next big thing, or again, more properly, the next thing we can do in crypto is travel. I'm saying maybe because I don't know. I have to add, I don't really hope it is, because it's too early. Maybe we get to this at the end. I don't think we are ready for this. Crypto is not ready as an infrastructure to really bring travel at the forefront. Actually, let me start from this. Why is it not ready? Well, if you listen to the podcast, you know why it is not ready. And the example I always bring is the Bored Ape Yacht Club. These NFTs, which went mainstream, I think, Snoop Dogg and Eminem singing about them, or only them, whatever. And having many people holding in their wallets these very expensive NFTs and losing them because they answer to some private message on Discord or whatever. It is still too dangerous to hold valuable assets on a wallet. We need better wallets, or as I like to say, we need wallets which are managed by LLMs, by AI, so we don't mess with them. Still, again, it is not up to me. It is not up to anybody in the travel industry. It's just something which may happen or not. So the case I'm making here is like, maybe travel is the next big thing in crypto. And I keep saying big thing, but I want to say the next use case for crypto. Why would this make sense? First of all, because the travel industry really needs disruption. In many ways, it is very similar to the banking industry. The technology behind the scenes is very old, very inefficient, very expensive. Innovation is basically stifled because of the way it is organized, because every big company keeps the data in their silos. And I'm not going to repeat the whole reasons, just a quick reminder, right? The travel industry is old and ready to be disrupted. If we disrupt it, everybody will have a better time and will live better in the travel industry. The travelers will spend less money. Everything will be more comfortable. Just think about one use case, which is I book everything through an app, and I don't have to go through, an accommodation app, a travel app, a flight app, a tour app, etc. Many, many reasons. We can discuss about them for hours. So one is, again, the travel industry is ripe for disruption. The second reason is that everybody travels. Like, not everybody mines Bitcoin, not everybody sends Bitcoin, not everybody swaps or use Bitcoin to buy stuff, even if Trump yesterday kind of bought something in a bar in New York, but this is just a show. It's Bitcoin as a mean of payment. It's still not there. These are just Bitcoin maxes, LARPing, Lightning Network stuff. It's not there. All right. But, and again, who wants to buy with Bitcoin? I don't want to buy with Bitcoin. I want to keep them, for instance. But we discussed this in many other times, right? Who wants to do NFTs for art or collectibles or other things? Again, more people, but not too many. Not everybody for sure. Who wants to hold ETFs? Again, small subset of the population. Who wants to travel? I mean, I can't say everybody, because that wouldn't be fair to people who cannot travel in many countries. But like, everybody wants to travel. Everybody travels. Everybody at the conference in Zug will have traveled, except from people from Zug, which I guess probably is 5, right? So travel is very, like, as a use case, is much bigger than anything else. It's much bigger than NFTs. It's much bigger than DeFi. So if travel becomes the next use case, this is going to bring in many, many, many more people. Which brings me back to the idea that I hope travel is not the next use case for crypto. It's not the next big hype in crypto, because it will take us so high in terms of prices and expectations, and the crash after will be maybe even too much to handle. Because if we onboard, 100 times the number of people we onboarded with NFTs, until they realize that, for instance, their account on which they, their Web3 account, their wallet gets hacked, and they lose everything. They lose all the reviews and all the bookings, all their money, etc. This can be really too much to handle. And again, we are not ready for that stuff. Still, I hope it gets at least in the minds of people who build. I want to see people building Web3 travel apps, which makes sense. Again, I don't think we should aim for the masses for the reasons I've just said, but if at least people like me, you, and anybody who's interested in this can use some Web3 app in travel and have an advantage over other apps, traditional legacy apps, that would be a big step ahead. Because after that, we just have to solve the wallet problem, and we're ready for really mass adoption. So yeah, that's the thing. The progression from Bitcoin, DeFi, NFTs, and who knows what could be travel. And I would say our aim at the moment is to convince the crypto space that travel could really make a lot of sense for developing use cases, for developing apps. Just to finish a thought, when I said, the next narrative is RWAs, real world assets, in a way, every single travel use case is a real world asset use case. If I book a night, which is represented by an NFT, this NFT doesn't represent just a nice drawing or something I can show to, signal belonging to a certain community, etc. As a CryptoPunk or a Bored Ape NFT. This is a real world asset. It represents a night in a hotel. If I get a review on my wallet connected on my listing, connected to my wallet, and everything is on chain, this is a real world asset because it represents a real review for a listing for which has a hotel behind it or an apartment behind it, etc. So I would say that any travel related use case for crypto is almost all the time a real world asset. So maybe real world assets will be the next use case in general, and travel is a part of it. Maybe just travel will be, maybe something completely different will take off this time. So who knows? I'm really curious about that. Maybe we're gonna just start revisiting, instead of a new thing, it's DeFi again. DeFi 2.0, not the hypey bull run stuff we had before, the 2.0 where it was mostly about Ponzi schemes. Maybe it's NFTs 2.0, something different, a different use case for NFTs. Maybe it's something else. I don't know. Still, we will be on that stage and we will plant a little seed in a few hundred minds. And I hope this can unleash a lot of new apps in the Web3 and travel space, because that's what we need. We need things to do in travel with crypto.
And we're done. Thank you for listening to this episode. For more insights, follow me on Twitter at Tripluca, TRIPLUCA. If you enjoy my podcast and want to support it, head on to podcast.web3intravel.com, 3 is a digit, and mint an NFT. If you want to sponsor it, you can do it at the same page. I will mention you in the podcast, and your name will appear on all donation NFTs for a while. Thank you, and ciao.